Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to another advanced listening practice lesson. Well, I am excited for another lesson. In this lesson, this is another requested video. This is going to be talking about conversation starters and how you can begin conversations, things you can say to start conversations, whether you're in person with someone or you're chatting online and you just want to begin communicating. But I know a lot of people have problems trying to meet people and trying to practice with them, so we'll talk a little bit about that in this video. And I know we have many new subscribers, so I wanted to cover many of the things, the tips that I talk about how to communicate with people and start meeting more people to practice with, because many people do it the wrong way. Anyway, let's begin. So first of all, I want to make it really clear that when you're trying to communicate with people, that you do not ask them to help you with your English, or that you don't say, hey, I'm trying to practice my English. Just start communicating with them the same way you would start communicating with someone in your native language. So if you're walking around or you see someone at the bus stop and you just say, hey, it's nice weather today, huh? And you're just talking with them and they maybe say something back and you're sitting and waiting at the bus stop, and that's how you begin a conversation. But you don't say, hey, can you teach me some Spanish? I have some questions about this grammar point. Now, nobody would do that in a native situation because you're asking for help from somebody else that doesn't know you. They have no real reason to take their time with you, so you want to give them an actual good reason to help you. And typically this comes from asking them specific questions where you're, trying to get some help from that person, but you're not asking for them or from them something that would be too difficult or take a really long time. So a lot of native speakers, native English speakers specifically, don't know anything about the rules of the language. They just know how to use the language correctly because they've developed the habit of doing so. And that's what we're trying to help you do in this series of videos and in all the lessons we produce. So we want to make sure that you can use the language the same way native speakers do by developing the habits they have. But again, when you ask native speakers questions about grammar or why maybe some vocabulary word is the way it is, they might not be able to help you with that, and they might be a little bit frustrated that they can't help you, and it's just not really a good use of your time or their time. So focus on asking teachers questions if you have specific questions, but when you have the opportunity to speak with people in an everyday way, just so you can practice and just continue to develop the habits you have so you can become a fluent speaker much faster, just use that opportunity to speak without spending so much time thinking about answering specific questions you may have. You may want to think of something and maybe write it down for later, but try not to do that at that point. So the best way to do that when you're starting to meet people, a couple of conversation starters that you can have. The first one is, like you're just asking people, and all of these things, again, you can do this whether you're online and you're posting comments like right in below this video, or if you're talking with people in person, you can ask people, hey, what book are you reading right now, or what book have you read lately that's been really great? So I'm looking for a new book to read. Do you have any good recommendations? So anytime you're asking people for recommendations, that's a great way to begin a conversation. So you can ask people for recommendations for, it could be anything really. Hey, I'm looking for a new dentist. I'm looking for potential vacation spots. I'm looking for a new restaurant in town. Like, do you know of any good things, or do you have a recommendation for something? So when you're asking people, a very basic way of saying this is, do you know of any good something something? So do you know of any good fiction books? Do you know of any good restaurants? Do you know of any good resort hotels with great beaches? So you're asking people for help, and typically people want to share the information they have, and they're happy to help you with that. But if you don't ask them for specific information like that, and you're looking more for information for them about learning English specifically, it's typically not going to be very fun. But people do like talking about the things they're interested in. And this is exactly why I'd like you to learn the language, with me while you're focusing on this, because we go over specific tips and specific rules, maybe things that can help you improve your fluency habits. But what you really should be doing is going on to other videos here on YouTube that are made for native speakers and commenting below those videos. So if you like fishing, you would go to look for fishing videos, and they would be all in English, and then you would look in the comments section below those videos, or even you can comment directly to the person creating the video or to other people that have already posted comments, and you can say, hey, I also live in like this same town or something. So let's say I am a Japanese person living in Texas and I enjoy fishing. And the best way for me to learn by meeting more people, I would look for specific videos on YouTube that are talking about fishing in Texas or fishing in Texas in like El Paso or like whatever my particular town happens to be. So you would look for that online, and then you can see other people that probably are watching the video and also from the same area. So you might even be able to connect with these people in real life. But if you don't get specific about what you're looking for, it's going to be more difficult. So if you just look for fishing videos, it could be, some fishing for large fish in the Atlantic Ocean rather than river fish in Colorado. So look for something, whatever that specific thing is, like not just cars, but car engines or car wheels or car detailing. So you like the images and designs that are painted on cars. Whatever that thing is, look for that specific thing and then get in the comments below and then start asking people questions about that specific thing. So you don't want to ask really them questions about themselves. I mean, you could do that specifically if you notice something interesting about them. But typically, asking people to share the knowledge they have, you're showing a sign of respect. And then that way you're getting more people that are more interested in helping you speak. So take the time to actually do that. Whether you're watching videos online or you notice somebody, like if I'm an actual, again, like that Japanese person who lives in Texas, and I go to an actual fishing place and I'm asking the other people around there. I go to the bait shop where I can buy lures and worms and fishing poles. And I say, hey, where are some great fishing spots? Where are other things like this? And the specific vocabulary that you're learning to use in these situations comes from the kinds of videos that you can see right here on YouTube. So if you watch carefully, you'll see maybe a TV show talking about fishing where the guy is saying, this is a really great fishing spot for fishing for bass or, whatever the name of the fish is. So this is a really great spot for something. This is a really great spot for pizza. This is a really great spot for watching birds or, anything. So think about this, kind of use the videos that are actually for that specific thing that you are interested in, and then connect with the native speakers that are also interested in that thing talking about that. And from that specific interest, you really go deep with that interest, and that's what enables you to develop friendships where you can connect with people. So whenever you say, I can't meet anybody to practice with, like they're right here, you're already on YouTube, you're just one video away from connecting with those actual people. So take your time. You should have with this learning strategy, spend some of your time, I'd say maybe 20% of your time on videos like mine where you're practicing, learning new things, new strategies, ways of practicing. But then 80% of your English learning time, you should be either going out in person if you live in a native English speaking country, or even if you don't, typically you can find, let's say I'm a Vietnamese person, I live in Vietnam, there are lots of foreigners over there. Just go to a place where you have foreigners, volunteer to be a tour guide or something where you could actually help people out, or just, go around and offer to help people. When you offer to help or you're asking for knowledge from people, most often people are happy to be in that situation, to share the knowledge that they have or be helped by someone that's actually willing to serve them. So be of service to people. Help others, and then spend your time focusing on the things that are actually important to you, but in English. And that's the whole secret. So whether you're learning about fishing or sports, or you care about, watching movies, there are lots of different things for actually every specific interest you could have right here on YouTube and other learning places online. But just do that. Find the thing that you're interested in, start learning more about that and asking questions. And then when you're saying things about, again, trying to get that specific knowledge from people, like what's a good book that you recommend? Have you read any good books lately? Any like good action books or fiction books lately? Or have you been to any good Italian restaurants? Do you know of any good Italian restaurants in a particular city? And even if you don't care about actually finding that particular place, this is just so you can practice the language, just so you can actually speak and start talking more with people and figuring out how you can help more people and help yourself in the process. Well, that's it for this advanced listening practice lesson. If you have enjoyed it, do click that like button, become a subscriber to the YouTube channel if you have not already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Be sure to share this video and keep practicing. Bye-bye. To continue learning, click on the link in this video to download Speak English Naturally, our free guide to speaking and sounding like a native English speaker. The guide reveals the 3 most important kinds of conversational English you must learn if you want to sound native. and will help you experience instant improvement in your fluency and speaking confidence. To download your free guide on a mobile device, click on the link in the upper right of this video. To download your free guide from a computer, click on the link in the lower right of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the guide.